The real side is the ultimate learning environment, or what people may call the dream arena, although it's far too easy to dismiss what are vital and important awareness-bolstering experiences if we refer to them as dreams. For then, all the various know-it-alls, all the scientists with their impressive credentials, will be swift to affirm to us all how these are just extensions of the mind, random imagery, with little significance. Well, some of the scientists, at any rate. The world controllers will understand the significance of the dreams, and will be falling over themselves to promote individuals to present the explanations for the dreams as anything other than what they actually are. For yes, dreams are simply experiences, no less tangible than those we have on our day-to-day, mundane, one-dimensional lives. In actuality, the physical level is the passing dream. It is the densest level, where everything dumps into, and the effects of what we are constantly deciding and agreeing to are manifest. For the physical level is the rock bottom of a place in life called creation, a simulated holographic training ground like any other. The physical vehicle is simply a receiver. It stores information in the mental parts of itself, and runs predominantly off of routine and habitual patterns of programmed input. If an individual is entirely physical astral, if their awareness does not extend beyond the lowest aspects of themselves, they are almost, if not entirely, running off the programs of their created consciousness. The created consciousness is that which we have created. It is our personal self. It is everything that makes the personal self what it is. Over the incalculable eons it has been constructed, added to, and compounded, but tends to follow very routine and habitual patterns of rigidity. This establishes a baseline, a foundation of being, and with the controlling element of the reptilian cabal wishing to herd the masses in particular directions, then the baseline of the collective consciousness is very much geared toward this end. A baseline that would stem from ideas of control, agreement sought from the masses by the various tried and tested means, the whip or the reward, and you have a cemented and ingrained underlining agreement which sets the stage. A created collective consciousness that is constructed from the agreement to systems of control, and this cause and effect overall experience becomes routinary. It is reinforced lifetime after lifetime, compounded and made more so, until it is very much automatic. Each lifetime, the individuals who had unconsciously agreed with these very control systems must experience the effects of them, if the agreements are maintained at the point of transition. And so these individuals are back again in a controlled human farming situation, and generally in a worse state of suppression and restriction. This is then the automatic patterns of the collective consciousness that ensure a continued experience of drudgery. An unconscious situation, a computer program running on autopilot. The same information of control goes in, the same experience of effect comes out. As long as these programs exist in the created consciousness, these agreements to ideas of control, then the biological computer, that is the physical vehicle, simply spews out the effects, the experiences, in keeping with these agreed to ideas. A control system is just as such a term implies, but people would assume it is just controlling their physical bodies, and always there is the option of revolution and rebellion. The notion of cause and effect, and how agreements to ideas lock people into this experience-generating principle, is seldomly grasped or recognized, for regardless of what individuals may think, regardless of their protestations and acts of rebellion, these underlying, deeply ingrained collective agreed to ideas of control remain, and make up the baseline foundation of the created consciousness. The computers will continue to spew out the effect, the data, the experience, because the files, the agreement ideas remain. People continue to experience these same controlled lifetimes, because they are caught in this locked-in agreement of control, with the baseline, the foundational routine of created consciousness established. the overall experience, the setting and theme is laid out. All that remains is the option for individuals to add consideration and emotion to the experiences they walk into, the experiences they have decided upon. As once again, nothing can feature in anyone's experience unless agreed with, and yet people will throw rocks at the movie screen in disdain, rather than address the projector that is generating what they are experiencing. We could say the projector is our agreements, and if the agreements are maintained, then we watch the same movie over and over, and we may throw our popcorn at the dull old movie in irritation. Perhaps far better would be to adjust the projector, to alter the agreements to something else, agree with something different, perhaps release these agreements that are resulting in this very tired and watched to death movie. Then we might at least see a different movie, although we would still be in creation, just sitting in a different created part of the simulator, and not much closer to recognizing the real universes. Although everything is experience, and far more sense must it make to vary our experiences, that the personal self begins to understand and appreciate the fabricated, reflected copy of the true reality that the individual seems to be in. But different strokes for different folks, as they say. Perhaps staying in the same movie is just the ticket to motivate the personal self to consider or reach for more than just its creation. Utter boredom is a good incentive to encourage a little change in the situation, to perhaps generate or seek to create new experiences, or maybe label what seems to be life as something very mundane, and this may spark the sense of something that lies somewhere beyond these perpetually dreary rock worlds. Boredom can also get individuals into trouble. Perhaps some may fumble for their real connection to their real awareness, whereas others resort to control and subjugation to have everything, and delight in the suffering and suppression of others. The personal self always operates from a thrill-seeking want, and the desire to explore more of the personal self, the deeper layers of it and creation, or the desire to rule the universes, Both of these options stem from the same drive. So we have our baseline of created consciousness, and it runs on routine. And with the programs of control and the restrictive systems agreed to, the controllers can sit back and watch it all unroll. For the masses are the creators of the overall experience, and so the controllers simply need set the projector the way they want, get the necessary agreements from the people. And it can take quite a time to have the agreements fully locked in. But with reptilians that live hundreds of thousands of years, and a calm God whose longevity will be in equal measure to the creational simulator he is in, time isn't really a factor. The reptilians play the long game, and it's reached a point where they have the overall movie experience just as they would like it to be. They can sit back and eat reptilian popcorn, or whatever it is a reptilian may deem as a suitable movie-watching snack. The unconscious, indoctrinated, programmed into control, idea agreement humans are at the mercy of these subconscious ideas, these tap lines, and are on a forever cycling wheel of drudgery. All they can do is simply walk into these experiences and compound them even further by adding ideas and emotion on top. So we have the experience that we walk into. The experience is based on an agreed upon created idea. We then add a consideration to it. We mentally evaluate these experiences, and consequently we add ideas to the idea that the experience came from. Now we have an idea, and compounded with other ideas, and any considerations we incorporate into our created consciousness will be further effects that we must experience. We are the culmination of our created consciousness and considerations, assumptions and attitudes, and these further limit us to the consciousness of our creation, that we are unable to recognize anything beyond the personal created self. We always will have experiences, for being in a simulator ensures that our cause and effect experience generating vehicles will always be setting something in motion, some cause or other. For we have to drag the personal self around with us as we go about our process of becoming more aware.